Hey folks, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about something a little controversial, something that people love to argue about. I call them pipe myths. Before we begin today, I want to tune you in to a project that I've been working on over the last couple weeks. I just recently launched my new website. So head over to jallenpipes.com where you can see a gallery of pipes that I've made in the past. If there's any pipes available, you can see them there first. And I added a new section that is all about learning the craft of pipe making. It's intended to be used by people who are interested in learning to make their own pipes, but also to the casual observer or enthusiast who wants to learn more about the pipes in their collection. So head over to jallenpipes.com, see all this new information that I've provided, and I'm going to be adding to it. And also, I have added a web store for the first time in years. There you can buy my J. Allen design tools, you can buy swag like this cool shirt and this cool espresso mug, and you can see new pipes that are available when they become available. So head over to the site, check it out, let me know what you think, and on to our subject. So for today's pipe myth, we are going to speak about shellac. Ooh, shellac. There have been countless internet threads and forums and message boards, arguments in newsletters and in person at pipe events. People like to argue about shellac. Well, what is shellac and why do we argue about it? The first subject of controversy is that shellac will bubble. That when shellac is applied to a smooth or a sandblasted pipe, as you use the pipe, that the finish itself will get some kind of air bubble underneath it and the finish will separate from the briar and it will bubble up and ruin the finish. And the second concern is that applying shellac as a finish onto briar will prevent the wood itself from breathing. So what's the origin of these myths? Well, it's not entirely certain. For one, it's a little easier to answer than the other, and this is bubbling. That probably comes from people's experience using relatively inexpensive pipes that are finished not with shellac, but with another kind of substance, typically a varnish or some kind of thick finishing agent, where bubbling has been observed. The other one is a little harder to trace. Why do we believe that briar breathes? What is shellac? Well, it's a natural product derived from the lac bug. We take this purified product and we dissolve it in some kind of solvent. The solvent is usually denatured alcohol, and that causes it to go into solution, and then it can be painted or sprayed on any kind of wood or other product. What this does is help prevent oxidation, and it also helps prevent your hand oils from getting on the material. Now, as it is applied in pipe finishes, as most wooden products, it is very thinly applied. If you've ever heard of a French polish, it is the application of multiple layers of shellac that is hand polished, and it comes to a nice, beautiful luster. But the thing about it is that it wears down over time. This isn't like a polyurethane or some kind of unnatural chemical that is applied and is almost permanent. But not all shellacs are created equal. The solvent that is used can impact the way that it smells and also the way that it lasts on the product. So as a maker, you need to read the label and know what's in your product. And remember that shellac is applied by most makers as a very thin layer. Thin is good, thick is bad. So if it's so controversial, why do we use it? Well, it provides a number of important features to pipe makers and to customers. The first is that it prevents stain from getting on your hands. If we were to simply stain a pipe, when you get the pipe and apply heat to it or the moisture from your hand, the oils that are in there, it will bleed the stain onto your skin. You don't really want your hands to turn red when you're smoking your pipe. The other reason is that it creates a really nice finish on the pipe. Now, most pipe makers will finish their smooth pipes with 400 grit sandpaper, 600, or even 1,000. But even at 1,000 grit, there are still microscopic scratches in the surface of the wood. The shellac helps fill in those microscopic scratches to make a nice level surface that we can polish with our polishing wheels and then put carnauba wax on top of it. So on to the final question. Does briar breathe? No, it does not. No matter what anybody tells you, briar does not breathe. It is a very, very dense material, and yes, it does have pores in it like any wood does. But does it breathe while you are smoking it? No, it does not. Moisture moves through the wood so very slowly that it takes briar cutters months to dry the material out. In order to test this out, I took several blocks of briar in my workshop and I shaped them into pipes, drilled all the holes, soaked them in water for several days, and then I let them sit, and I weighed them every single day. Well, it took longer than a week for them to stop losing weight, which indicates that they have dried out at least to the level of humidity in the environment. So it took over a week for the briar to lose all that moisture. Another anecdote provided to me by one of my pipe maker friends who had received a pipe that had come back to him from a client after many years. There was a problem with it, and he decided to keep the pipe. He actually cut the pipe in half to observe how far into the briar the stain, which is an alcohol solvent by the way, so it will soak in further and faster than water before it stops going in. And also from the interior to see if any of the tobacco juices or the remnants of your smoking had gotten into the wood. Well, from both sides, interior and exterior, it had soaked less than a millimeter into the wood. So my conclusion? No, briar does not breathe. So in conclusion, is shellac okay to use as a pipe finish? In my opinion, yes. There's no reason not to use it, or at least not the concerns that have been brought up by most people on the outside of the workshop. It may not be the preferred finish of all pipe makers, but hundreds and hundreds of pipe makers have used it successfully to very happy customers all around the world. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you watching, and I hope that I've helped clarify at least my thoughts on this issue for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this subject, so express them in the comments below. And also, I've been told that it's important for people to subscribe and turn on notifications for these videos. If you would be so kind as to do so, I would greatly appreciate it. So subscribe below and you'll be among the first to know when my next videos become available. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy puffing.